Good morning, everyone. We are talking about awards today. It's Awards Insider Live. My name's Debbie Gilbert. I'm the founder of the Best Business Women Awards. And I'm joined today by Artie Palmer, who's a branding specialist. And she has been a judge for the Best Business Women Awards for several years now, but also won awards herself critically and had her business quite a number of years. So we'll get her to introduce herself in a sec. And I'm also joined by Mary Gregory, who is a leadership and development coach. She is also the winner of the Best Business Women Awards Best Coach Award last year and has come back this year as a sponsor and a judge for the Best Female Leader category. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Debbie.
Hello.
Lovely to see you.
Yes, likewise. Lovely to see you both. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
It's lovely to see you both. So these lives are really going to be about peeking behind the curtain of business awards, because I've had a lot of struggle in the last few weeks with fake nominations, people telling me they've been nominated for awards. I've had people telling me that, you've got to vote for them. Can you vote for me to win an award? So I want to talk about all of this stuff this morning, and we want to talk about the new category as well, Mary. So let's start with you, Artie. You've been a judge for a few years now. Why is it critical, do you think, for awards to be properly judged as opposed to voting?
Okay, right. So, firstly, hello, everybody. Lovely to be here, and thank you, Debbie, for inviting me on. Right. So it's really, really important to know the difference between these. So now that, because obviously I've seen and experienced and gone into voting for people, and then I've had the behind the scenes of what it actually really requires to have a proper judging process. It's important because simply it's just fair, isn't it? Because if you've got somebody, just a very simple example, if you've got somebody like me who's got loads of family and friends and cousins and everything, that's not done on merit. It's not done on credibility. I can just be like, right, everyone go and vote for me. And that feels really, really unfair to go down that kind of route. And then also, what are you actually getting judged on? If it's a business award, then there is something about submitting into an award, because it showcases you, it showcases your business, it showcases your brand, your journey, your experiences. If it's just like go and vote for me, where does that sort of reputation and credibility really then get to shine a light on it? Whereas when we have an absolute very, from what I've experienced with the Best Business Women Awards, and it's also the very reason I've said yes to being a judge now for my 4th year, so thank you very much, is the meticulous process. So I'm going to stop there for now, because I'm sure you've got a few other questions, but that would be one of the very, very key things, where there is actually a process to showcase the credibility and reputation.
Thank you. And what do you think about voting, Mary? What's your thoughts on it?
I suppose just hearing what Artie was saying there is that for me, it's about integrity. And when you have an awards that's judged, and what the Best Business Women Awards do is that they keep the integrity in that if you know anybody, you're not allowed to judge them. So if there's anybody that comes through, so I'm going to sponsor the Best Female segment. I don't know whether I'll be judging all those people, because if anyone comes through that I know, I won't be judging them. So I think that firstly, the integrity is in with the Best Business Women Awards, which is why I was attracted to these awards in the first place. And I think, as Artie alluded to, we want people to be judged on their capability, on what their contribution is, how they've made that difference, not on their popularity. It isn't a popularity contest. It's actually an awards based on capability and on the contribution that people are making and the difference that they've made and the challenges they've faced. And just having people vote for you isn't necessarily a measure of that. I think actually having objective people who don't know you looking at specific criteria is what makes a difference.
Exactly. And it's what makes an award very valuable. Artie, what would you say? You've won an awards yourself. What difference have they made to your business and your positioning in the marketplace?
All right, it's what, well, there's a few different factors here. One is it absolutely boosts your confidence, especially if you've gone through a bit of a process and you're like, oh, I've been recognized for this. So there is something very, very validating, one, there. Two, when you then have this sort of award winning, and obviously, you know, you've got to back this up with actually being able to deliver and all of those kind of things. You have to be good at what you do, right? And in order to be good at what you do, that's how you also then win legitimate awards as well, right? So that speaks volumes by itself. It's also then the exposure that I ended up getting, because, you know, you then post on your social media, you approach publications and stuff like that. So now this exposure, and this is what we do want as brands, right? We want to create that visibility and credibility side of things. So this is a great stepping stone to that. So as a result, I've been in various different publications, been featured in Forbes, and because of also the connections and the network that I've then created. Like, for example, with your awards, you know, you've got then the drinks and the celebrations and stuff afterwards. You can become part of the community, and I've experienced that with others as well. As a result of being now part of that community, it's invited me onto podcasts. I've, you know, done workshops for different business communities. I've ended up getting new clients. So it has this really beautiful ripple effect. It's not just about, oh, here you go, I'm an award winner. It's also about what you then do with it and how you then also share this win as well.
Definitely. That's really useful. Thank you. And Mary, you won Best Coach last year. How did that feel?
Yeah, so I will build again on what Aldi said. So for me, if I'm honest, I was a bit of a cynic about awards altogether before and I was persuaded to apply and submit my entry. And I think what I would say to anyone who's hesitating, just throw that out the window and go and apply, because actually in doing the application, I learned so much about myself and my business, and that in itself was confidence boosting, because often, particularly when you're working on, you know, we're sole traders or limited companies, but still working very much on our own. You keep going and you don't necessarily notice the progress that you're making, and actually completing that awards entry in itself, I found really rewarding as a starter, whether I got nominated or shortlisted or not. The entry itself was really invaluable to do. Then when I actually got shortlisted, I was really, really pleased. I think I would have been very disappointed if I hadn't been shortlisted, but I was very, very delighted. I hadn't really got any sense of whether I was going to win or not. In fact, I think I went through periods of, because it was a really tough field for the best coach. And I was thinking, oh, you know, Henriette Danelle was there. She's a very good colleague of mine. It was like, well, she's a great coach, you know. So I kind of went from feeling there's no way I'm going to win to actually, I think about a week before I started to think, well, you've got as good a chance as any, Mary, you know, get yourself in the room and just be there and enjoy the evening. But when I actually did win, I was in disbelief. It was such a shock. So it was a moment of real delight, but real shock as well at the same time, because it was a tough field and all the other coaches that were there were just brilliant. But I also want to say that confidence boost, that absolutely, gosh, I have actually been seen, where I think when you're working as a woman on your own, you often feel, is anybody reading my posts, or am I making any difference here? So to actually be seen was such a confidence boost. And not only that, the whole awards evening was such a celebration of women, which is one of the reasons that I'm now sponsoring and one of the judges, is that I absolutely believe that, having that community of women who love each other, who support each other, who really are a stand for women's greatness, it's just a joy to be part of that.
Oh, thank you, Mary. So that was interesting when you came to me after the awards and you said, you know, there should be a category for best female leader. So, you know, we're agile. We can just go, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. So you came up with the questions for best female leader. Do you want to just run us through the things you're going to be asked for this
Right,
category?
I will. I'll just get them so I can see them so I don't misquote. But yes, so I mean, the reason I came up with that is, firstly, on the evening, I mean, obviously there are awards for all sorts of different categories, but so many women in the room are leaders, and quite often we don't recognize ourselves as leaders. And I just thought it was a really important thing to actually acknowledge and get out there for people. So I think people that have already won awards at the Best Women's Awards could apply for this one, because they are showing leadership. So the sorts of things we're looking for is women who've built a business and have shown a real vision around why they're doing what they're doing, and shown that ability to lead strategically and think strategically around their development of their business. We're also looking at someone who can empower others. So I know that there will be sole business owners as well as owners of much larger businesses. So we're talking about women who can motivate and empower a team. That could be your own team within your business, or it could be a virtual team. You've got other people supporting you and helping you with your business, and are developing a culture that is inclusive, collaborative, and looks after people's well-being, as well as being high performing as well and getting the results that they want. And I think one of the elements that's really important for me, and this maybe is my bias as a leader myself, is I like to support leaders who are really making a difference in the world. So it's not just about them making money; it's about what contribution are they making to the bigger community. So it could be their local community, or it could be they're taking a stand that's bigger in our world as a whole. But they're doing something that is making a difference. So I'll be looking out for those sorts of things in the entries that come through.
Fabulous. Sounds great.
Mm.
Let's come back to you, Artie, from a judging perspective. And what are the top things that you look for in an entry? I mean, there's probably quite a few, so maybe pick out one or
Yeah.
two that really make you
Okay.
go, "Oh, that's amazing."
Yeah. Okay. Right. Then I was going to start with something else, but when you said that, the ones that really make my heart flutter and like, oh, that's so exciting, are the ones that are really written from the heart. So you can actually really feel these words, right? Because you can tell somebody's taken the time to actually share their journey. They've looked at those questions and they've the way that they share their story, what they're saying, and you can see and feel they've been on quite a journey, and the way that is articulated and shared, that's something I definitely do look out for, and in the questions allows for that to actually come out. So there is that sort of mission and vision and that side of things, and what really differentiates you. So when I'm looking at the award entries and stuff, one of the other things is that it's not just done from a very generic place. It's thought out, because sometimes I've seen things where it's just so like, okay, this is just we're great because we've got great testimonials. No, let's go a bit deeper than that. So those entries that have a bit more depth and are meaningful, and you can really feel and read the passion behind them, those ones are something that I really look for. Another thing is the evidence that backs this up. Because words can be words, but then also, when I've seen the actual evidence and gone to whether it's the website or the evidence that they've provided, that really beautifully backs up what you're saying, whether that's done visually, whether it's done, through links of different things, testimonials, those kind of things, that really helps as well. The other thing I would say is, if you are going to get somebody else to do it, do look at it as well, before you submit it, because at the end of the day, it's your business. It's not your team members' business, and they are not going to know and understand your business the way you fully do, and understand your journey in the way you fully do, and why you've got to where you have. So work with them. Don't just hand it over to them. It's just the same way that team member wouldn't go in on the stage and represent you and your business. So similarly, having that same thought of like, actually, you know, this is for this is about me, this is about my business, this is about maybe even the culture, that side of things, and you're going to know it more better than anybody else. So working collaboratively with somebody when you're submitting this submission.
Yeah, that's really
So
good
that's a
advice.
few. I can carry on reeling things off,
Well, I
but
was going to ask you about the branding side, because being a branding expert, are you looking at their branding? Does that formulate some of your decision-making process with the
I do.
judging?
I am reading, and because obviously I picked this up very quickly, and I've, you know, earlier mentioned it around that sort of differentiation, USP, positioning, those kind of things. I am in terms of the brand, in terms of visual identity, branding, that side of things. Yeah, I can have a, you know, I do have a look at that, and it does, like, I am a visual person, so I am like, oh, that's really impressive. That's good, because what that also says, they it's been taken into consideration, the fact that their brand translates into their branding, their visuals, and there's a consistency and congruency, you know, throughout it all. That makes it feel a lot more together. For me, that says somebody really cares about their brand and the experience that people have as a result of that.
Oh, that's really useful. Thank you for sharing that. So back to you, Mary, with confidence. Confidence is a big thing in your world.
It
And
is.
you've got an event coming up, which we will mention before the end. Awards, really, that was the biggest thing for me, was confidence. And it was like, believe it or not, I did lack a lot of confidence years ago. People find that hard to believe. I know. And actually, the award, the very first award I ever won back in 2012, actually, I cannot describe to you the feeling of walking off the stage with the award, because I thought, oh my God, you know, this is it. Somebody has actually recognized the work that I've done and really recognized my business. And it was almost like I was 10 foot tall walking from that stage, not to the stage, from the stage. Once I had the award in my hand, presented by the lovely June Corrie, who you probably remember, Artie,
Yeah.
Stephen, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. And I felt 10 foot tall. So, Mary, do you think that awards are a confidence booster? I think they are.
So my take on confidence is that it is in constant ebbing and flowing mode, and there will be times when we feel really confident about things, and other times where we'll, particularly when we're out of comfort zone, we'll feel less so. And there are times we might feel paralyzed by a lack of confidence. What I think is great about awards, and what I support my clients to do, is make sure you've got like a kit bag of things that will help you feel more confident when you're not feeling so confident. So, you know, I talk about having a brag box, so all those acknowledgements from clients or bits of feedback, put it, you know, it's an email box, you know, put it in your email box with it and label it brag, so you remind yourself. But definitely, if you've got an award, just remember, mine's on my shelf on the back, so if I'm having a shaky moment, just turn my chair and I look at my award and I remind myself that I did that and I got that and I was acknowledged. It's a great thing to have as a reminder to help you keep boosting your confidence for those moments where you might feel a bit shaky. And at the same time, when you actually get it, it is the most, I can totally relate to that 10 foot tall feeling.
Yeah.
It is the most tremendous confidence boost.
It was. It really was. Yeah. And you just sort of think, oh my goodness, you know, it's just has helped me so much over the years. And I think I'm with you on the bad days. You just look at the shelf and it's got a few awards on it and you think, actually, don't worry about it.
It's a great one for, so, you know, I still have the old gremlin going, hey, you think you're good at this? It's like, well, actually, I've got a counter voice now. Actually, I've got an award to prove I am good at this. So thank you.
And Debbie, you can just go to your website and look at the last 10 years of awards and you'll be like, I've done this.
Yeah.
You know, it's incredible. Like, one of the things for me, you know, in the Best Business Women Awards, the amount of women we get to celebrate and champion, and you've made that happen. So yeah, just go back to your website.
I think that's really good, because what awards do is they shine the light, and you must have shone the light on so many women
Just
over the
over
Thousands.
years. Just
1,000.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Thousands.
just over 1,000 now.
Incredible.
That video that we showed at the start of the awards last year, it's still, I've watched it, must be 30, 40 times now, but it still makes a little tear come up in my eyes when I watch it. And I think, oh God, the whole journey of it all, you know.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah, no, I am very proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of all the people I've got to meet, and the confidence that I've seen them displaying, you know, and a lot of people come up to me and say, this is my life, and thank you, because I never really quite knew if I was doing things in the right way.
Yes.
And now I know I am, and because I feel like I've had happy clients, but now I've been judged externally. And I think I said to the judges last year at the judges session that we do, you know, your decisions change lives. And the
Yeah.
people you choose to be our finalists do change people's lives, because it changes their mindset as well as the exposure for the business.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I'd just like to add in that other one thing tip. Answer the question. Just answer the question that you're meant to answer. Don't go input question, answer number 3 and question number 1, because this judging process is so meticulous and fairly done. Coming back to that, and you know, then the points get reduced. So please read the question and answer that particular question.
Yes, and we're doing a session. I'm doing a session online called Categories and Questions next month.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Details in the comments. So let's just do a bit of shameless plugging, because well, that's what people do on chat shows. And the red chair. So Mary, you've got a 1-day workshop coming up.
I have.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So it's been my goal this year to do much more in-person work. And I just feel so much more connected when I'm in person with people. So I'm running a full day in-person workshop on the 20th of March. It's in the Connaught Rooms in central London. And it's all about exploding the confidence myth. Because there are so many myths that go on around confidence, and particularly women and confidence as well. Because I've yet to meet a woman who is totally unconfident. Most women that are in business cannot afford to be totally unconfident. So it's about recognizing what are some of the biases that actually are really draining and exhausting for women, which might be more about them feeling less confident than them actually being less confident, if you know what I mean. So we're looking at those. We're looking at what authentic confidence is. We're looking at some of the myths and how to explode them. And we're also looking at the biases that can get in the way of women feeling confident. And it's a full day session in March. I'm really looking forward to it.
Can you add the link in the comments while I talk?
I will. Oh, can I do? Oh, I can. Oh, hang on. Yes. Do I have to do that now, or can I do it afterwards?
Yeah, we'll do it afterwards.
I was going to say the technology multitasking might just do me in, so I'll do that afterwards.
Artie, do you have a shameless plug?
Yes, of course. It's me, of course. Well, actually, it's funny because I am running an event. We are running an event called Amplify on the 28th of March. It's a brand immersion day, and its purpose is to align and embody your being and brand. And it's already sold out. So, however, yes, yeah, it's going to be a combination actually of. We've got a brand expression workshop. We've got gong bath going on. We've got a bit of sound healing, gong bath.
Ooh,
yeah, so we
lovely.
also are going to be combining, like I said, and mind body maturation coaching. So, like I said, it's a combination of, because at the end of the day, it's the person, the being who's in, expressing the brand. And this is very, very important as we, continue to live in the world that we do with digital and, human experiences and stuff. So personal and business brand is going to become more and more, well, actually personal brand is becoming more and more important. I would say definitely not only double down, triple down on your personal brand. And awards are a great way to raise that credibility. And, I also do work, as you know, one-to-one with clients. So I've got a variety of different one-to-one packages that we'll have a discussion and see what's a right fit for you. But generally, I work with aspiring legacy leaders who are change makers, visionaries, and this is also another reason I say yes to this Best Business Women Awards, because I get to, this is it, right? This is they're all aspiring legacy leaders, and it really aligns with what you're doing, Debbie. So appreciate that. And can I just add in one more thing? This isn't a shameless plug for me. It's just something with regards to awards and stuff, because the other thing is, I mean, you in this award do make everybody a winner. But there are times when, you may get the silver and not the gold, or, finalist, that kind of thing. I just want to share, because there are times where I have won awards and there are times where, I was the finalist. And it's really interesting because as soon as you sort of share that you're a finalist and stuff like that, what I learn is people love celebrating people. They love supporting that. And it's really interesting because people will be like, oh, you won that award, that award, that award. And I'm like, no, I didn't win that one. I was a finalist. But in their minds, and it's just so lovely that people do genuinely love supporting other people. And with that has still come opportunities to get onto the, podcasts and talk about, business development or brand strategy, personal branding, and all of those kind of things. So there's opportunities in this from the moment you submit, because the opportunity is discovering and defining and understanding your business, yourself, and your brand better. And then when you are shortlisted, there's an opportunity of exposure and visibility and people celebrating you. And then, the actual awards evening as well. And then also what happens thereafter. So it's just full of opportunities, really.
It is. It is. Thank you,
Yes.
ladies, for joining me for our first peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And if you've been watching the live today, I hope you've gleaned some great tips from our judges and sponsors for this year, because, we want to make the awards industry transparent. There shouldn't be like all this kind of murky procedures going on in the background. And so it's kind of really lovely to hear your thoughts and insights as well. We'll make sure that there's some links to Artie and Mary in the comments. This has been going out on Facebook and LinkedIn this time.
Oh, cool.
I know. And we are going to do some more Award Insider Lives with sponsors and judges over the next few weeks. So if you just look out for the details and join us at 10:30 on a Monday morning. Great way to start your week with a bit of a celebrationary theme.
Yeah.
Great.
So thank you, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Lovely to
Thank
see
you for having
Artie.
us. Take care. Likewise. Bye.
Bye.